speak. All right, folks, welcome to the program. We are live right here on the program. It is also being recorded tonight. So everything that is being said, one way or the other, is live on our network here. Hopefully this will be a routine show and something that is done very well. Everybody can hear us. Welcome to the program. The first thing we have up on the agenda today is a news article that I got right out of our paper, our local paper here. Firm tracks bank cards, sells data to investors. It's talking about firms that buy data and sells it. They buy the data. They sell the data. A lot of these investors that are on here, a lot of the firms, the banks, they are routine ones. Now, I'm not going to go big into this, but it says that the firms pay over $2 million. It says that some firms have been doing this for a long time. This is something that I like to follow because it helps you, the viewer, realize that your data is not as secure as you think it is. In the investment paper, talks about stealing from your 401k. Some other news about job hunting, but what I thought was interesting, you hear me rattling the paper around. What I thought was pretty interesting is the fact that these firms copy stuff. They want to copy stuff. The whole basic paper was about copying stuff. Major changes have head spinning. Talks about credit cards. Talks about things of selling your information. Again, two papers that have that. Now, folks, I'm opening up the phone line. 607-238-3816 is the phone number. If you want to be live on the program, you want to call into the program. Our screener's not here this week, so I don't know what we're going to do about that, but it's something, I tell you. I hate to see what's going on. I've sent a video of hand piercings, by the way, folks. I want to mention this real quick. I don't understand what hand piercings are. They're piercings that are going through the skin, the wrist, the hands, the fingers. Something new, something hot on topic. Show number again, 607-238-3816. It's a number that's great. It's a number that's good. I think it's a good number. It's a new number. Last week it didn't work. This week, hopefully it will. Kind of pausing here because I'm going through some stuff online, getting some emails ready, telling me about last week's show, how it didn't sound very good on YouTube. Well, I can't help that. I honestly can't help how it sounds on the show. I can't help how it sounds. I can't help how things work out with the sound. A lot of people also make complaints, have complaints, do complaints, show complaints about my show. I realize that. I realize everyone is probably going to be complaining about the show at some point in time. But the complaints can be sent to my email, wildandwackywade@yahoo.com, wildandwackywade@yahoo.com. We've had that number for some time. I don't know if anybody else has heard what's going on in the news about these police shootings, but I'm not going to discuss a lot about it. I know a lot of you like to hear about it. I know a lot of you like to see about it, hear about it. I'm not going to discuss it this week. I'm not going to have, what's that noise? Somebody playing with the phone again. I don't know what that is. Somebody really wants to get involved with stuff, really wants to do stuff, really wants to have stuff, then you can have that. So that's going to be something. That's going to be a lot of something. And I think we have our first caller tonight. Hello? 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 All I can hear is myself in the phone. I don't know if that's good or not. Hello? Well, I guess somebody's playing around with the phone again. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know why somebody would do that. I don't know why somebody would play around with the phone like that. If anything, I don't understand what is going on. My cell phone just got a message. I don't know who's messaging my cell phone. But anyway, somebody was playing around with the phone. I'm not too keen on people playing around with the phone today. You hear the phone ringing, somebody's calling in. Let's go to our stack of stuff behind me here. Maximizing your job efforts. A lot of stuff on jobs, a lot of stuff on new jobs. I'm opening the paper to actually read this one, talking about how jobs are taking your information. I've said this before. Taking your information and could be selling your information, or basically taking your information, your Social Security number. At least in my state, Social Security number is supposed to be part of your job application, but they can take this information. It's not highly secured. It's not highly developed. I disagree in some cases with this. I disagree in some applications, in some cases, that this stuff is there. I see a lot of people struggling with information, struggling with the chance to get information. Struggling with the fact for the information. I'm not too sure what's going on with this, but this whole week I've seen it. I've seen it in the news. I've seen it out. See, I pay attention to stuff you normally don't pay attention to, folks. You normally don't pay attention to this stuff in the news. You normally don't pay attention to this stuff on air. You normally don't pay attention to this stuff with what's going on. You normally don't pay attention with what's possibly happening, and that's when you fail. Wow, the callers are working. We got another caller. Caller, welcome to the program. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Caller, welcome to the program. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. You gonna talk or what
Yeah.
here?
Yes, I was wondering if you were selling anything.
If I'm selling anything, what am I selling? Why would I sell anything on the show? What is this, Tradio or something? We have Greg's CD, $5, singing Christmas albums. It's up on my website, www.wildandwackyway.com on my website. I don't know what the hell the matter with that caller was. Selling something on my program? What am I supposed to be selling? Swimsuit issues or something? What am I supposed to be selling, folks? I don't know what that's supposed to be all about. I really don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't know what that's supposed to do. Selling stuff on my program. Not sure what that's supposed to mean. Not sure at all. Not sure. All right. I'm trying to get things organized here better than we normally have them. So we can get things better organized and better through some areas here. Maybe it's not what I'm doing. Maybe it's how I'm proceeding with some of this stuff. I don't know if they are plugged in or not. I hope they are. The headphones are. Anyways, let's go down to the pile of stuff again. Let's see. Do teens need to start the school day later? What kind of stuff is this all about? Heading into September, children are going back to school. There's some safety rules here. Adjust bedtimes, not educational systems, back to school clothing ads. It's all here. And in the midst of all of this, do teens need to start the school day later? Talking about teens starting school days as early as 7:30 in the morning. Ending school days at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. That does not count bus rides. It talks about information. It gives some sites. I'm not going to go into these sites. I've already checked them out. They're not. They're all right. Check with your educational system. Check with your teachers. Two websites on here are basically scheduling sites to help you schedule bedtimes and help you schedule what your children's going to do. Anybody can find that stuff. I don't think that's too special. That's just an opinion of the writer, by the way. Don't yield to the children's. Please don't yield to what is around them. Have a schedule with their friends, though, for studying times. And it goes into a lot of information. Now, when I went to school, it started at 7:45. We ended at 2:15, 2:30. I imagine kids are all over the place. Children are. I imagine they're everywhere. I imagine they can be seen everywhere. I imagine they can be heard everywhere. I imagine these schedules are being made by parents that are ungodly for children. I know last year, my own daughter, we had a swim schedule and a small sports program schedule that basically got her home at 8 o'clock at night. Once that sports program was over, she was getting home at 7:30. The bedtime was probably right after that. Now, I'm not saying it's bad for high school children, maybe middle school kids, but the younger kids are what I'm really, really worried about. Our number is 607-238-3816. It's a new phone number. Don't worry, it does work this week. We're very proud of having it. Now I got to go into more of my stuff. Interesting, Halloween ads are coming up. Some of these ads are pretty intense for the Halloween season, I would say. Despite dangers of pursuits, police technology is slow to advance. It talks about the technology of the police officers. And the only reason I'm going to go on this police subject is because it's talking about technology. It talks about how some of the radars, some of the speeds, some of the cars are made. We're in the 21st century, it says. We should be using 21st century technology. Folks, a police pursuit's one of the worst things a police officer can get into. It talks about special equipment. It talks about picture taking, capturing, loading and going on it, doing things such as taking pictures and sending the pictures to court, maybe, just like they do with speeding tickets and everything else now. But I'm gonna address this issue right now. When it comes to police technology, it's all about the budgets. And we all know that when we get into the budgets and when we have to do the budgets and when we have to throw ourselves at the budget, we all realize that sometimes it's not very good. And the budgets are not up to date with what's going on. And in fact, some of these budgets are probably really poor. Some of the budgets are really slow. Some of the budgets are really tedious. Approvals for stuff is even worse. And if stuff doesn't work, I did a segment on that one time as well. That the tedious development of this stuff. And if it doesn't work, the budget's spent. If it doesn't work, the money is gone. So a lot of times the technology police officers have is out of date because they stick with what works. You're going to get a criminal. You're not going to use something that's 50 years old to do it. However, some of the things that were done before, they got the criminals. They made it so that the criminal did not proceed with what it was doing. For instance, pepper spray, nightsticks. This is technology that's old that they still use, and it's listed in that article here. However, some states don't allow it anymore. But it got the prisoner. It got the criminal. It got the wrongdoer. And that's what it's all about, is getting the people that need to stop doing the crime, the wrongdoer. But I'm gonna keep track for you people, you folks, on my listeners, my viewers here up on Google Plus today. We're trying it out. I'm gonna keep track on all of that stuff. I'm gonna keep track for you, my viewer, what's going on with the technology out there. It talks about budgets, cuts. We have some articles here, miscellaneous stuff I'm passing around here on budgets and what's going on and why it's wrong and misuse of money going into our election year. Folks, I don't understand what the misuse of money is. I don't understand why the misuse of money is there. And I certainly don't understand why they have to do articles in our papers and on the online news about the misuse of money. Listen, folks, our budget is way, way, way behind. Our budget is way, way screwed up already. We don't need it to be screwed up anymore. We don't need it to be screwed up any less. I just don't know what to say about these articles that are talking about budgets coming into our election year. We already know that lots of our budgets and a lot of what we're seeing and doing is partially because of other things, and partially in a structure where things are not regularly available. We don't have any way as the public to check out to see if any of these things are wrong about the budgets. We don't have a say in the money. We don't have a say in what goes on. We don't have a say in why and how it's done. So why would we fret over it? Why would we have problems over budgets and everything going into the year? I don't know what's going on with Google Plus tonight with my shows. I can't tell if I got any viewers here or not. However, my room is getting full. People coming and going. I keep getting messages in the chat room here. I don't, I don't understand what people are doing. I don't understand how it runs here. It's new. So that means that I'm going to have to update this stuff. I mean, I'm going to have to find some kind of a network. I'm going to have to find something to get the people more involved with my show. Folks, www.wildandwackyway.com is my website. I have a Facebook. You can go up there. I have a Twitter. You can go up there. All that information is on my website. Again, www.wildandwackyway.com. Our show number this week is 607-238-3816. The lines are working. The lines are there. We've already had 2 people call in, and I don't know what they were asking. I don't know what they were doing. You got questions. You got stuff on the show. I'm going to take a quick break. After the break, we're going to talk about a little bit more of what I got a stack of stuff for this week. And what's been going on, how's it been going, why it's been going the way it is. We'll be right back right after this. All right, we're back. If you're listening to us on YouTube right now, or you're listening to us live, perhaps, we don't play the advertisements on our saved, archived shows. Advertising, if you own your own business, if you want to get the word out on something, why not use our show, the Wild and Wacky Wade Show, for your business? We always are ready to help you and your business grow. We're always ready to get the word out on whatever you want. Check us out, www.wildandwackywade.com. Up there on the heading there, just click on advertising and support. We have a whole bunch of information for you. And folks, welcome back to the program. Welcome to what we have as a program. For the very first time in a long time, I'm on my own. The networks got rid of me. I'm all on my own, and I'm happy about it. I'm very, very happy. A lot of stuff about technology. A lot of information about technologies in the news. Drones and police technology. Police department walk a fine line. It says it's talking about how they walk a fine line and how I wasn't going to get on police this week, but everybody likes to hear about it. There's another article. Police officers share their opinion. Basically, it's an article about how they share their opinion about different stuff. There's also stuff on how the authority of the police officers, I'm reading as I go along here. The authority of the police officer has a say in a lot of things. How court procedures are not up to par. A lot of people get away with stuff when they've done stuff wrong, and a lot of people are charged and put in jail when they haven't done anything wrong. The court system needs to be better. Waging a lot of falsehoods and videos on YouTube. And I said this before, folks. I'm going to say this right out now. A lot of these videos you see is the end result of something. The whole video is not shown. The whole act, the whole call, it's called a call. When somebody calls into 911, the whole thing is not being recorded. I have a lot of this on my YouTube also. I discussed a little bit about it. I had a video about some stuff that happened in my own area. Where a lot of people are looking at these videos and saying, oh, they're wrong and the police officers or how dare them do stuff, but yet the whole call is not there. The whole situation is not looked at. It's not on video. It's not talked about. It's not even done in reports. We have police officers punching people. We have police officers kicking people. But we don't know what the person did wrong. We don't know what they did to receive what they received. And we don't even know if they're innocent. We don't even know if they're guilty. Nothing goes on record. Nothing goes on public demand. Nothing is presented to us, the public. Nothing's presented to the news about what happens in a case, or the police don't show the full videos. Police departments are not willing to reply. I've asked for anyone out there that's in law enforcement to come forward and come on the show and tell me your side of the story, and departments have refused. Outright officers have told me that I'm doing injustice. I don't know how I'm doing an injustice if I'm sitting here with people on there and people talking about what they're talking about and doing, and all I want is the truth to be known. All I want is the truth out there of these situations. A lot of people are not telling the truth. A lot of people are not coming forward for fear of their job, maybe. For fear of their, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to give a good example that people can relate to. Professional wrestling. Just recently, Hulk Hogan did something very wrong, and wrestling came out and said, we're not going to put up with it. Now, that's all I'm going to say about it. I agree with some of the other wrestlers. You can't erase his memories. You can't erase the memories of the fans about him. You can't erase the history that he made for the companies he worked for. That's fine. But just like in law enforcement, I think people need to come out. Officers need to tell how they feel about stuff. And if something is injustice, and even in the broadcasting, here on the online podcast broadcasting, if somebody was to do something wrong up here to make us look dumb, in racing, in football, basketball, I don't know what other stuff is out there. Let's say firefighting. If somebody does something wrong, whatever field they're in, the field takes care of them. I haven't seen this in law enforcement. I haven't seen somebody come out and say something as if a police officer does something wrong, they make all of us look bad. I don't know. I was told it's a fraternity. I was told it's a group. I was told it's a network. I was told it's a small, knit, close society that people are not going to open up about. I don't know if that's true or not. A lot of news here of police stories and everything. We have drones. Motorola's making some drones, and they have some high tech for police officer equipment. Dispatchers will be able to send officers text messages on glasses, possibly. Weapons can be dysfunctional, maybe. Smart belts sense when police officers handcuffs, a weapon is drawn. Recording software, real-time intelligence, connected police officers to a network so everybody knows what's going on. Again, this is technology, folks. We're talking about police technology right now. I'm trying to get away from the police areas. I'm trying to get away from network of information coming in on this stuff. Every so often I'm sent something. Every so often I'm sent information about certain subjects, certain things, certain ways of life, certain technologies, and I'm all for it. I'm all for having this technology out there. I think some of this stuff is great. However, some of it can be misused. I don't know how anything I just mentioned can be misused. But, anyways, the challenge is still out there. If you're in any of these fields and you want to come on the program and tell us your side, I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to have you on the show. If you want to be a guest on the show, www.wildandwackywade.com. Write me an email, wildandwackywade@yahoo.com. If you got something to say, something on your mind, you want to complain, you want to say hi, you just feel like being annoying, I don't know. Our number this week is 607-238-3816. Number hasn't been used. 2 people called this week. I don't know what they were doing in the phone. I'm going to take a little break here. And when I come back, we're going to talk more about this stack of news and information I have. I have some, just to get on ahead on, states move ahead on marijuana. That's an article of the news. There's some other things on drug facts of actual health information about cancer, health information about the marijuana reversing the effects of medical problems in children and adults. I don't know if using drugs in children is okay. However, I don't think it's used the same way that hippies use it. So that's coming up. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got more for you. Remember, the lines are open tonight. And we will be right back right after this. And we're back. Welcome to the program. We have a caller. Let's see if I can do this. Caller, welcome to the program.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, what's going on? How you been?
I'm doing good, Wade. How you doing?
I've been all right. You like our new On Hold music?
Yeah, it's sexy.
Yeah, that's about all I got. I got a new phone number here, folks. All right, what's on your mind? We got a usual caller here. What's on your mind?
Oh, I was just calling in to show some support, man.
Yeah, thank you. We're using Google Plus, and what we're trying to do is combine Google Plus with our normal system. I may just use Google Plus for live shows, and it's not doing that well. I've had some problems here, people not hearing me and stuff. But I record all the shows as normal, and it goes up in my archives. So what have you been doing?
Just hanging out, man. Playing some music here and there, just working on some recordings and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, if you ever want your music played on here, we will support you in that. Tell all your friends about us.
Oh, dude, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I had an independent artist a while back play some music on here, but when I was with the networks, you realize, and folks, you do realize, I'm no longer with the network. So I can have a run-of-the-mill of this show and do whatever I want now. I don't really have to listen. Well, I have to listen to the YouTube standards when I put it up on YouTube for archives and the Google Plus and the live stuff, as far as, making sure people don't do something stupid. But all that other stuff, I'm on my own on the show, and I can run it the way I want.
That's cool.
I also do advertising.
If you ever need any, theme song music or anything, man, I'd be happy to help you out.
Yeah, I got a website now, too, www.wildandwackywade.com. It's a work. I'm getting used to GoDaddy. I'm getting used to the trials and errors of stuff. But it's up there, and it's working. So hopefully it'll work. Hopefully it'll get stuff doing.
Cool, man. Cool. So what's the topic of your show tonight?
Well, my topic is just news. I had another guest call out tonight, but I'm tired of telling people that. I was supposed to have another guest come up, and a lot of the guests just call me yesterday and said I'm not going to come. I don't know if they're playing games with us or what, but it's happened 3 weeks in a row. So I just got a stack of stuff behind me here, and we were going to go into the new marijuana laws. That's coming up in about 2 minutes. I have stuff on trophy hunting for this week, and I have more budgets and more budget cuts. We did discuss earlier, and it's probably going to be an ongoing topic with people if they want to call in. The number 607-238-3816 is the new technology police officers have and the recent events and what they've been doing. But I'm getting off that subject. I have a challenge.
Word. I don't know if you've heard anything about this, but today around 5 or 6 o'clock Eastern time, I believe South Korea launched a missile at North Korea from the water. I don't know if you heard anything about that, but
no, I haven't been following any of that stuff. I heard a little bit about it. I also heard a little bit about rumors of wars. But, you know, when we get into election times like this, you're going to hear a lot of stuff about this because that's, you know, election time is when nations test each other, I think, on this time. But, yeah, I've followed that in the news. I just don't talk about it on my show because it gets very negative. And it gets really, really, the news just tells those stuff. I can't ever find the truth about any of that stuff. It's whatever the news want to put out there. It's whatever the TV shows want to put out there. My opinion is if two countries that have been fighting for years, you know, I thought we already went into Korea. I thought we already had a Korean War. I thought we already had our time fighting them. I'm not much for war news and politics in the first place. But, yeah, I've been following it a little bit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not really big into it either because I've realized it's all, like, propaganda and shit like that. But, I do find, the YouTube channel Vice to be pretty reliable as far as, like, non-biased opinion kind of stuff like that, so.
Oh, yeah, I've found some stuff on YouTube about this marijuana stuff with children, reversing side effects and stuff, and reversing disease. See, the thing I don't like about this is that pharmaceutical companies like dispensaries or whatever they call themselves, they're not trained in this stuff. They're not trained professional, whatever you want to call it. They're people that own shops and do stuff and dispense this stuff out.
Oh, yeah, it's a money hustle, man. It's definitely a money hustle. I don't really know. I mean, okay, so I was for a while, and I was a medical patient, but I may have incorrect views on the whole thing, but my whole medical is I smoke weed to get fucking high. I don't smoke weed because I think it's gonna, like, make me healthy. Like,
well, it's not really the smoking of the plant that does it. It's the oils and it has nutritious values and a lot of plants and stuff, like you know.
It's all the CBD and the THC and the CBDN and all that shit. And I'm saying, like, I smoked, like, hella hash oil, man. And, like, you know, at the end of the day, it's just, like, a person drinking a glass of wine. They're not drinking the glass of wine to help their liver. They're drinking the glass of wine so they can get the effect of being under the influence of alcohol. I mean, I have seen people who had seizures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who use the hash oil, and it helped them. But I'm saying, from my personal standpoint, I smoke weed to get fucking high. I think it's all a big joke about how everyone, realized, or, this whole medical. To me, it's all just another money hustle.
Well,
that's just my opinion.
Now that you're on the subject, the one thing I wanted to point out is that Congress has taken a few steps in making sure that the Justice Department, that states cannot use funds from carrying out their own medical marijuana agendas. We have states like California and the state I'm in, which is New York. I don't know where you're calling from right now.
I'm calling from South Carolina.
All right, South Carolina. They're making new laws that are trying to get people out of jail. They're trying to make new laws that are proving that the medical end of this drug is beneficial, that the medical end of this is helping people, and that most people that have done an offense of marijuana use are not hardened, die-hard criminals. Recently, Obama was on TV and on YouTube. I saw it on Hulu as well. Some news information of him saying that these criminals are in jail for life, and all they did was smoke the joint. They haven't done anything really criminally wrong except for the drug use. When I was a child, the drug use was heavy. When I was a child, it was disgusting and immoral for you to do this kind of behavior. But now, I mean, just in the past week alone, there's been 4 cases, and passed within this last 6 months. Let's go wider, broader strand here. Of the last 6 months, cases where children have reversed effects of seizures, retardations, and mental disorders, physical problems and disorders, and all of them have been treated with oils or extracts. It's not basically the kid sitting there smoking the leaf. It's actually the plant being made into a medicine. And I think it's good. I think it's time that people come forward with these treatments. It can even treat cancer. It can treat a lot of other things. But we all know the truth about cancer is money making here.
I don't know how much research you've actually done, man, on the whole making it into a medicine. But they're not doing anything. All they're doing is just making it an extraction. It's not like they're adding anything.
Well, see, that's the point I'm trying to make here. There was a big fight on Facebook about the children smoking the marijuana so they become healthier. And I'm like, they're not smoking it. A lot of what stuff is made in California is oils, it's paste, it's salves, it's treatments in pill form, it's treatments in liquid form, drinkable juices and stuff. It's not like people are, like I always use the expression, they're not being hippies, sitting around and smoking and eating boxes of donuts, okay? They're smoking because their back and the cancer, or their legs, or their medical problems, physical, mental. I use the word retardation. Maybe I shouldn't use that word, but these are physical health issues that people, well, they're in death more than that. The child has had seizures about every 2 minutes, almost from the day they were born, and now she's up and walking and only having 1 seizure a day. I mean, that's a huge a benefit to that child and that family. And even if it doesn't solve her seizure problems totally, one seizure a day compared to every 2 to 5 minutes. The other child had them every 5 minutes. Another child had them all day long, so bad that he couldn't walk, and they always had to monitor him. He was up and playing. He doesn't have any seizures anymore. They found that cancer has been cured of this. And the news article that I have here goes into depth about some of the treatments, some of the things that are going on, and the power of the drug, and all of this other information that we see. Charts are leading on some of these things. The cure is something that's natural. It's not man-made like some of the pharmaceutical stuff we have. But my biggest fear is that people are going to start misusing stuff. However, painkillers like Oxycontin, I hate using Oxycontin, but it's one of those that stands out in the people's mind and they know what it is. These morphine-like drugs, they are more addictive than alcohol. They're more addictive than caffeine. They're more addicted than cigarettes. And yet, doctors still prescribe those things. So the misuse of medicine and stuff has gone on since medicine was made. So, I mean, my worry about misusing this stuff is going to be misused one way or the other anyways.
Yeah. Well, see, and what I think about the whole doctor aspect is, like, if the doctors sell you a pill that cures the disease, they can't sell it to you anymore. So it's like, I feel like they're just selling you Band-Aids with, like, a false hope that it's going to cure whatever the hell is wrong with you. That's just kind of like what I think about a lot of that stuff. I don't know. I refuse to take any type of pharmaceutical pill, any of that kind of stuff, man. I don't need no Tylenol, none of that.
Well, I have a severe allergy to medications myself, so there's very little that I can take. I have severe problems with it, severe allergies. So to get a medicine, and I think it's because it's a chemical. Most medicines are a chemical that induces your body to feel something different, so the effects are no longer there, but not actually curing the effects. A lot of mental illness drugs do that. You know, it's almost to the point of, well, it's sick. It's almost on the part where if you are sick, your body is tricked into doing something by this chemical, and therefore your body responds, rather than you being cured of what's inflicting your body to cause it to be sick. It's almost like taking a pencil and, the pencil needs to be sharpened. Instead of sharpening the pencil, let's just bite it a little with our teeth so that there's more graphite there to write with, and keep biting it with our teeth through the whole entire page of writing, instead of actually sharpening the pencil and doing what it needs to do. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure, dude.
And it's also disturbing how today's world, we need to rely on chemicals to do everything in our lives. But it's, people are chemical dependent. Diabetes. When I was a child, it was don't get fat. Being fat is wrong. Obesity and all this other stuff. Now it's sugar, and half the time these chemicals like aspartame and this endo, whatever it is now they're putting in soda. And these other, I guess, Pepsi has changed and Coca-Cola has changed to another chemical. They're there to sweeten stuff, to just be flavorful, but they're not. They're harmful to your body. You would better off taking a teaspoon of sugar than you would a teaspoon of aspartame. Splenda, Ensure. I forgot the two other brands. One is in a green type pouch, and the other one is in.
Yeah. My mother eats that shit, and that shit is fucking gross. I don't see what the hell is the
Well,
hype
it's
behind
not. You know what they wanted to do is take the sugar completely out of the drink. Well, if the recipe calls for it, it calls for it. Okay. And they wanted you to taste that sweetness, so you bought the product, and so you didn't go to something else. Well, if the product's really that bad for you that they have to replace it with something that makes you think it's something else, how really bad is this product?
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely sick sometimes with what they put in foods. Or it's genetically modified, or like these fruits and vegetables and plant foods, basically is what they are. Genetically modified that if a bug eats them, it'll die. Well, what do you think you're going to do if you eat it? If it's made to kill bugs that eat it.
I used to work in a garden store, and we sold a lot of seeds and stuff like that. And I learned that pretty much all of these current fruits and vegetables in circulation, you can't replant the seed. Like if you eat an apple, when you buy an apple, you can't take the seed from that apple and plant it in the ground. Like, it won't grow. And that to me is really fucking crazy. Like, that they've got to the level of putting chems in our food that cause it from naturally reproducing.
Well, see, that's. I mean, I've been told that all the time, that if you do not organically grow your own food, this food that's for instance, Wegmans, PNC is another company. They're grocery companies, ShopRite or something, Price Right. The food they sell is from local gardeners. However, a lot of that stuff is mass-produced. In other words, a whole entire football field of cucumbers. And none of them, their seeds will never be used. Their seeds will never be reconditioned into the ground. And the moral of that is that they want the product out to the people. So the seed growers and the seed makers, and notice I say the word makers here, can get their product sold. When I was a kid, you could stuff a pear into the ground, or a cucumber into the ground, or an onion into the ground. After your mother got through, cutting all the scallions, they're green, leafy like onions, and she could throw them back into the ground, cover them up, and, next year you would have scallions growing in your garden. Not anymore.
Yep. Yeah.
Or tomatoes. Your mom would always, take some of the seeds out of the middle of the tomato, I remember my mom doing, and throwing them in her garden and having 1-2 tomato plants out there. They didn't really do well, but they were there so she could have a fresh tomato when she made spaghetti sauce, or she wanted a sandwich or something, and she didn't want to go to the grocery store and buy something. It was there for her to tend to. No one wants to tend to the garden anymore and work and have something to enjoy. Which I have another saying, all these people that are against eating beef, they'll rip a carrot out of the ground and eat a living thing while it's still alive. But, we won't go into that now. But, well, yeah, you can't kill a cow, but you can rip a plant out of the ground and eat it while it's still alive with feelings and everything else. It's just changed so much, and a lot of this stuff is money. If you can make seeds and sell seeds at thousands of dollars to farmers, and then, of course, the bank comes in and says, you just spent money on seeds, you might need a loan for your barn now, It's money. Mm-hmm. It's not. I mean, the diesel engine was made to rely on the product of corn, oils, and other stuff for fuel, a natural organic fuel. It wasn't made to have the gasoline type fuel that diesel fuel is now. It's just basically different stages of oil, okay? It was made to be a biological type engine. And so the farmer can be self-sufficient. He can grow his own fuel, grow his own food, grow his own trees, and use the land to live off of. Now, everything is technology, even milking cows, and everything we do is technology and computers, and, you know.
Yeah.
It's just a different world. I mean, my daughter asked to watch YouTube while we shop. If my parents, if I was told when I was a child that someday you will be able to go around the grocery store and not miss one television show because you'll be able to pick when you want to watch it, like Hulu and Netflix. I can pick the shows I want to watch when I want to watch them. I'm not forced to watch something of what a cable network delivers to me. If I was told that as a kid, I'd laugh at you. You can talk to your friends and see them on a phone. Oh, that's nice. You can. When I was a child, you could stand or sit in your living room and have somebody, you could see the person you're talking to on the phone. That was a great accomplishment. That was wonderful. Now you can see anybody all over the world and do everything. Play Dungeons and Dragons. You can have parties. You can have birthday parties where relatives are sitting there on iPads watching the birthday party. You got all this technology. Now, is it good? Yeah, I think some of it's good. But I think it's spoiling the, when I was a child, you got on the telephone. My cell phone, I still have a house phone, by the way. But my cell phone's not a phone. It's a mini computer. It's a mini computer that is basically there to make my life a little better. Well, actually, it's there to make my life like hell when it drops calls. But it's there as a computer. It's not there as a phone anymore. It's not there as a there. You still with us? Oh, maybe his phone dropped. I don't know. All right. Something just happened to the phones. I hope he can call back. This is an ongoing issue we have with the phones. I'm not sure what just happened. All I know is that all my calls just dropped. I had 5 people on hold. If you're still there, please call back. And they just dropped. Anyways, I got to go on a break. I'm going to take a few-minute break here. When we come back, we'll talk more about this. We got a little ahead of ourselves. I'm going to fix the phone when I'm away. We're going to get right on this issue of the phones because I don't like dropping calls here. And I apologize for doing that, by the way, folks. We had 2 calls in the beginning of the program that were really, really bad. And then we just dropped one. Anyways, folks, we'll be right back right after this small break. All right, folks, we're back. Not a long break, but a short break, a little break. I think what we're going to do is use Google Plus for me recording my shows, and I'm just going to put the archive show up there because it's dropping my calls. It's really making my computer slow here. But it's something I could use until I can get another source. Wish I had another source. Let's go into something else now. We were talking about drugs and healthy and food and all this stuff when the call dropped. Or he hung up. I'm not sure. My friend there does travel. Maybe his phone cut off. Maybe he was on a cell phone. I can't tell people not to use a cell phone because that's what most people have. I got a situation so I can have it up there. We're going, and nothing's gonna happen. All right, here's 2 stories, 3 stories, 4. Let's go into 5 and 6. Things that we have here about different stuff here about trophy hunting. I know it's been in the news. I know it's something people don't like talking about, but here's 2 stories how it can save endangered animals. I guess sick and diseased animals can be shot. How it can save lions, how it can save other animals, how it can save a lot of other things that are going on, how it was saving different things, and how it manages different things, and how it can process different things in and around stuff. Trophy hunting. And here's something else with trophy hunting, folks. The airlines are banning game trophies. You can't take them on anymore. There's other things that are banning shipment of trophy animals. There's one article here how it's unsafe to go over there on these trips. People do get injured. Trophy hunting, I think, is one of the horriblest things in the world to do. I think it's horrible. I think it's sick. I think it's something that should not be done. I think it's sad that we see these animals die for no reason at all but to have in your living room. Now, the story about the sick and injured animals and all that stuff, if that's true that injured animals and diseased animals or animals that are injured and they need to be put down, or diseased animals that spreading disease and hurting other animals and stuff, then let's go ahead and see what we can do to stop these animals from getting diseased, injured, or whatever. However, maybe it's a way of weaning out the weak. Maybe it's a way of making sure that the diseased animals are not there, that the diseased animals are cared for in a humane way. They're taken care of in a humane way, maybe the way to put it. And maybe, these diseased animals are spreading some kind of disease. It's bad for humans. It's bad for the other animals, that is making other animals sicker than normal. Fine, that's okay, but why can't park rangers do that? Why do you have to go out there and hunt the animal and brag about it, that you killed something that was diseased and sick? Just doesn't make sense. Game wardens, professional people can do that, not people that just want a thrill. Also, on top of this, there are places that do darting. It's called dart hunting, where you will dart an animal, get your picture taken near it. The dart basically puts them to sleep. It tranquilizes them. They wake the animal back up. Nothing's harmed to the animal. Sometimes they'll take blood samples. Sometimes they will tag it or whatever. And the person gets the thrill of the hunt. I kind of disagree with that. However, it's not a bad thing to do because you're not killing the animal. You're not hurting the animal. Science is benefiting from the blood and the tagging and the study of the animal. I just think this trophy hunting is sick. I'm not afraid to come up here and say it, and I'm not afraid to say that these people are sick that are endorsing it and thinking it's funny. I did find out, like I said I would, the doctor paid anywheres from $1,000 to $10,000 to go hunting. Now, if you got that kind of money, I can think of other things you can do with that. And a few charities out there, like children's cancer research or something, that you can put your money towards, and you don't have to go out there and hunt an animal with that kind of money. You can put it towards charity. You can keep the money in the bank. You can go buy a car. You could buy you could donate some food to somebody. Somebody can have food that may not be able to eat. You don't have to go out there and kill an animal for that much money. It's a waste of money, a waste of time. Number to call in is 607-238-3816. The phones are up. The phones are well. I'm working on getting them better. Now, something about the city. New York City, and other cities. It mentions Chicago, New York, some Los Angeles, San Francisco, some others here. But they're the prominent big ones here. Cities' healthcare departments, inspections are failing. The article goes in to say how health inspection is failing. I tied this article also with this street vendor article I found that has street vendors not doing what they're supposed to, poisonous foods, poisonous things going on, things that are hurting to the public, things that are hurting to us. When you go out and get your food at one of these vendors, one of these city vendors, I guess San Francisco has them. New York City, I know, has them. I know Miami, Dallas. I imagine Chicago. I've been to Baltimore, Maryland. I've been to Boston, Massachusetts. We've seen some vendors when we were there. I've traveled up and down the East Coast. I've seen different small hot dog vendors, restaurants, trucks, food carts, carnival-type setting trucks. They talk about how these people are not taking care of sanitary very well, and the cities are not backing it. The cities are lacking on their inspections. I don't understand how you can lack an inspection like that. Aren't you supposed to get one of these things every year? Aren't you supposed to have one of these? I mean, around here, if you're a food vendor and in the carnivals, you're supposed to do it every 6 months, and everything like that. Some people in our chat room, I don't know how the chat room came up. This Google Plus messed up totally last night. Messed up on the last two shows I've had, so I'm new at running it. And there's no one here to take it over. So I'm trying desperately to do it. Our main topic, I think they're asking what our topic is. Our topic right now, coming back from the break, was trophy hunting and now food. Kind of goes into one. I mean, and that's another thing about trophy hunting real quick on this. If you're hunting for food and you're going to eat what you kill, that's a whole different story. But let's not hunt I don't think you're going to eat an elephant and a lion and a giraffe. I really don't. But back to the food service stuff. People getting sick. People getting ill. And ill means you basically are really bad. Getting sick means you probably get the shits, you throw up maybe, flu-like shit. You know, the same shit you did when you eat a frickin' bad sub at a pizza place or something. Or your friend brings over a sub, you have no idea where it was, and you ate it, and you got sick. You get ill is when you really get bad. Maybe a hospital visit, a doctor's visit. And I'm telling you that these things should not be happening, of these food vendors. They should be more responsible. They should be more adequate with their use of the food and preparations. And the cities should crack down. The main thing about this article is that cities are not cracking down on it. Or they're cracking down on things. The article reads a vendor of 10 years got cited for something, where the vendor of 2 years got absolutely nothing, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, yes, after 10 years, you should know what the hell you're doing. You should not be doing it. But if you're out there for 2 years, you should be checked. You're new. You should make sure you know what you're doing. Both people should be checked equally. Both people should be checked by the same rules. I don't know why the cities are lacking. Maybe the city doesn't have enough people to do it. Maybe they're checking because of complaints or something. I don't know. I really don't know. The other side of this is if you own a restaurant, you don't want these people coming down your ass every day either. So, there's another side of this argument here with food. The number to call in if you want to call in is 607-238-3816. www.wildandwackywade.com is my website. I have great information up there. The website's still in the works. We're working on it. We're improving it. We're always adding stuff out there. Call in if you want to. Go up to the website. Check us out. Again, www.wildandwackywade.com. My Facebook link, my Twitter link is up there. Follow us. Look at the archives. We have archives on YouTube. We have archives on the site. Everything that we're doing and everything that we're having here is going good. I'm going to go on another break really quick here. Stay tuned. I'm going to go on a break real quick. I'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back. A little longer break than I thought it would be, but remember, if you're listening to the archives right now, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to go up on the website, www.wildandwackywade.com. A bunch of stuff there for you. Don't forget to remember to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to friend me on Facebook. All the links are for you here or on my website. Folks, we're back, and we were talking about food vending. And in the midst of talking about food vending, I got this food safety lapses filed as a crime. Food safety court stuff that people have actually gone to court and faced legal penalties for it. This also brings us to food as a wages of McDonald's will be $15 an hour in the city. Different fast food restaurants have been plagued with misuse of stuff, misuse of food and other things. All of this stuff deals with food, the safety, the processes in which it is. Now that we're on the wage hike, ganging the wage hike, I don't like to talk about wages because everybody has a different opinion about it. But they want to do it to $15 an hour in some places. The minimum wage here is $8 an hour or $8.75. I don't know what it is where you're listening, folks. Causing people to live with their folks, causing people to live on a lifestyle they don't like. I don't like to get into wages because if you raise the wages, let's say you're going to raise it to $15 an hour, the person that's making $15 an hour now is not going to get their wage raised. Everybody's going to be equal. I don't like talking about wages because a lot of people think work ethics are different. The phone lines are now open again. Let's see if we can get these things open. It's a work in progress. 607-238-3816. Call in now if you want. I'm opening them up again. It's kind of a long break. If you want to advertise with us, we'd love to help promote your business. Go up to our website, www.wildandwackywade.com. Check out the information we have there for advertising with us. It's a great package deal. It's a great deal. It's a great way to improve your business. I don't know what to call it, but it's great for you because you succeed and you will better your business. Trust me, folks. Dying down on a stack of stuff this week here. I don't have a lot. I didn't have a lot, but I got a lot of news articles. Let's go to the phones. Caller, welcome to the program. Are you there, caller? I don't think I can hear the caller. Well, we'll try it again. People are going to call. They got to speak into the phones, I guess. I don't know. Next caller. Caller, welcome to the program. How are you? I don't know what's going on, but I have no idea what's going on with the phones. Two callers have tried. Anyways, the phones are getting worked on. I made a call today to them and damn well complained a lot about it. See, I'm off the network now, so these networks did all the phone stuff. I learned how to do it myself. I found a great company to work with. And they're just not doing well. Obamacare, undo it again. A lot of stuff in this week's stack of stuff, the pile of news and information. Disease control centers, flus, a lot of cures for stuff. The article talks about how doctors will say something's wrong and they're not. They're billing for things that are not being done. Folks, you know, this kind of news just upsets me, because if you're going to go to the doctors and you're going to find out that they're going to tell you just have a cold, go home, and your insurance is billed something else. It's very sad that they do this. Here's another article, folks. Here's another article I got here. It's talking about how people are responsible for their own care for health care with the Obamacare stuff, or the health care system that we have. And that's a point that I made for years on this issue, is that you're responsible for it. If you don't want to have health care, why do it? If you want to have certain things done, and like myself, I very rarely go to the doctors. Having a lot of doctor's visits and that stuff would not be done. But when I do go, I need to have the medication. I need to have the cure for whatever's ailing me, because I was sick enough to go to the doctor. A lot of this stuff is coming forward now, that a lot of these plans are not helping people. They're not hurting people. Okay, they're not really hurting individuals, but they're not helping either. And we need to do that. I've said that many a times. We need health care that makes the person healthy, that treats the illness, treats the disease, does all that stuff. I just found my chat room in Google is starting to work now. This Google Plus is just something else. I can't do anything with it. I don't understand. I lost the broadcast 3 times now since I've been broadcasting. I just kept broadcasting on. I'm a good trooper here, folks. It doesn't make any sense on how this works, but that's what it is, I guess. It doesn't work. It's not productively working. It's not productively doing what I need it to do. But that's a work in progress. It is a work in progress. I don't really know what it is. I don't understand what it's doing. I'm trying to understand what it's doing. I don't understand it. Anyways, I'm going to get back to this part of it. Let's dive into something. Let's dive into some other stuff here that we need to talk about this week. This random stuff. Originally, like I said earlier, our guest called off again, which I've been seeing for the last 3 weeks. Guest calls off, and I'm stuck reading you the paper news. I'm stuck having news. Here's some things about walking your dog. It talks about New York City But maybe it's because most of these papers are from New York City. Maybe it deals with you too. Dog walkers are not picking up after their dog, which I think is disgusting, carrying around a little baggie of dew, of shit. Your dog takes a shit, and you have to pick it up with a little bag. I think if a dog shits in someone's flowers or by a tree, stay away from the damn tree. The dog pees some places now. I know in California, some cities in California make you, I'm not going to get into all the cities and their laws, but makes you make sure that makes the sidewalk not wet, or it makes it so there's designated areas to pee in. You can't just pee anywhere you want, around stop signs and on people's tires. It talks about dog grooming habits, dogs lunging and barking at people as they're walking. Professional dog handlers are complaining about the people instigating the dogs, wanting to petting them all the time. Now, I agree with this. You're walking your dog, some idiot wants to come up and start petting your dog and fondling it. I can see where you get pissed. However, aren't you in control of that dog to tell the person no and keep going? You don't have to stop and socialize with them and wonder why they're fondling your dog. Just something that's in the news here about this stuff. It is controversial over dog walking. A lot of people don't want to do the dog walking. A lot of people don't want to do what it takes to have a dog. A lot of people don't want to have what it takes to professionally work with a dog or have one. It just surprises me that some people have the animals they have, reptiles and all this other stuff, and they can't take care of themselves sometimes. But that's not for me to determine. If I was to have a pet, I wouldn't mind having a snake. I wouldn't mind having a rabbit. Saw a rabbit at the pet store. We took my daughter in the pet store. She wanted to go in. I guess she wanted to look at the fish. Huge section of fish. I saw a rabbit. It was really, really a nice rabbit. A cute rabbit, pretty rabbit, whatever you want to call it, folks, okay? I would have had it for a pet, but I just can't. I don't think I'd have the money enough to get it everything I wanted to pamper it. And I don't think you can pamper a rabbit in the first place. But our show is winding down. I was going to have a guest on the second half of the program. They called out. If you're going to be a guest on the program and you're going to tell me that you want to be on the program, we can do a lot for you. We can get you publicity. We can get you a lot of stuff. But I don't like doing it because they'll call out. I don't like doing it because they don't want to do what they're supposed to. They don't want to follow through with what they're doing. They don't want to follow through with what has to be done. So it basically hurts the program. But that's the way it is, I guess. I guess that's the way some people want to be, or some people want to have it. So for lack of better words for it, the second half of the program is kind of screwed up, but that's okay. I know how to handle it. Don't forget to go up on my website, www.wildandwackywade.com. A lot of information for you, a lot of things up there. A lot of information. We're working on the site. We're bettering it. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube. This is an archived show by now, so you're probably listening to an archived show. Subscribe here at YouTube. I also have archives on my website. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to follow me on the other networks. Don't forget to friend me on Facebook. Don't forget to tell your friends about me. Folks, I'll see you next time.